Ginger Duggar has put herself at risk of being shunned and cut off by her parents, Jim Bob and Michelle, as she is expected to expose family and religious secrets in her new tell-all book. Ginger, 28, is publishing a memoir entitled Becoming Free Indeed after distancing herself from her strict family. In an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun, former Duggar family friend Mary Murphy reveals the potential fallout Ginger could face from her loved ones. Mary, who hosts the podcast Out of the Shadows, grew up with the Duggar family and considered Jim Bob and Michelle's daughters to be her sisters. She lost touch with the family when she was shunned and excommunicated from their church after questioning the Institute in Basic Life Principles, IBLP, religion. Mary believes the same could happen to Ginger with the release of her book. She told the U.S. Sun, Jim Bob and Michelle's reaction to the book will depend on the contents of the book, as well as the approach. Is the memoir a tell-all? Will Ginger call Michelle and Jim Bob out? If so, the likelihood of Jim Bob shutting Ginger out and cutting her off raises. However, if Ginger's book does not hurt the family image or the facade of perfection, then I don't expect Jim Bob to cut her off. I am eager to read the book. I imagine Ginger is a few years into this journey. In another 10 years, there will be another book. Because it is a long journey. Mary said she is so proud of and happy for Ginger for sharing her story. She added, stepping forward to tell your own story represents a vital part of taking your agency back and finding your voice. I am not shocked at all that she is breaking free. I hope all of them will come to that point of seeing the truth and stepping out into freedom. I'm not surprised. I'm super happy for her as she continues to move forward and heal. Mary hopes Ginger sharing her story will encourage her siblings to break free from the strict religion as well. She said, everyone's journey is going to be different. With each one that does break free, the pressure on the others becomes even more intense. I do think it's probable. It's just going to take some time. The mom of two moved from her hometown of Arkansas to Texas when she married her husband Jeremy Vuolo in 2016. Then in 2019, the two moved to Los Angeles, California, where Jeremy is currently a pastor at Grace Community Church. Ginger began distancing herself from the family with her attire, as she broke the modest dress code by wearing jeans, shorts, short dresses, and skirts, and other clothing deemed immodest by the church. Mary said of what could have helped Ginger break free, the more outside influences and voices helped to see what life is like on the outside. Even traveling internationally and having that separation to have input from other sources. Staring to see, wait, this is not how life is like in my house. What's going on here? Starting to ask those questions. The official break seemed to come when Ginger's oldest brother, Josh, was arrested on 2 counts of CP in April 2021. He was later found guilty and sentenced to 151 months in federal prison, where he is today at Seagoville in Texas. While family members, including Dad Jim Bob, attended the trial in support of Josh, Ginger, and Jeremy spoke out against the fallen family member. Mary said she was proud of their statement that read, "We are saddened for the victims of horrific child abuse. We are also saddened for Josh's family, his wife, and precious children. We are saddened for the dishonor this has brought upon Christ's name." Josh claims to be a Christian. When a professing follower of Jesus is exposed as a hypocrite, the response of many will be to challenge the integrity of Jesus himself. The couple added, "We are thankful to God for exposing Josh's actions and to a legal system committed to protecting the innocent and punishing the guilty in this case. We are grateful for justice. We are praying for further justice, vindication, protection, and healing for all those who have been wronged." Ginger's book, Becoming Free Indeed, My Story of Disentangling Faith from Fear, will be released on January 31st. The description for the book reads, Ginger shares how in her early 20s, a new family member, a brother-in-law who didn't grow up in the same tight-knit conservative circle as Ginger, caused her to examine her beliefs. He was committed to the Bible, but he didn't believe many of the things Ginger had always assumed were true. His influence, along with the help of a pastor named Jeremy Vuolo, caused Ginger to see that her life was built on rules, not God's word. Ginger committed to studying the Bible, truly understanding it for the first time. What resulted was an earth-shaking realization: much of what she'd always believed about God, obedience to His word, and personal holiness wasn't in line with what the Bible teaches. Now, with a renewed faith of personal conviction, Becoming Free Indeed shares what it was like living under the tenets of Bill Gothard, the biblical truth that changed her perspective, and how she disentangled her faith with her belief in Jesus intact. Mary is a second-generation survivor of IBLP, which she considers to be a cult. On her podcast, Out of the Shadows, she shares survivor stories of those once in the alleged cult. She said of her own survivor story, "I was a stay-at-home daughter until my mid-20s. I began to see in my own family the hypocrisy between the facade we put into the world and what went on at home. As I began to see that in my own mind and heart and life, I started pushing back against that. My parents saw they were going to lose control of me. That was very important for them to maintain control of me in order to protect their reputation and facade. I was shunned and excommunicated from the cult. That's when I lost touch with the Duggar girls specifically.